And Gandalf I'm getting on quite well with. I've basically used the basalt grey. For the cloak and the hat, what I've done is I used the basic basalt colour to do the first coat, and then I've been adding some white, a little bit more white each time, just to pick out the highlights. And the blue was this craft paint, and that's just basically the first coat, because what I'm going to do again is just add some more white to this and whiten it up on the highlights. And I'm also going to do the same blue on the scabbard straps for that. On one of the videos I've been watching, he gives Gandalf a blue hat, which I'm seriously considering, because Gandalf is meant to wear a blue hat, so that's what he shall have. I'll just bring him forward. Yeah. For the beard, that was done with the burnt umber brown first of all, and the hair, and then I dry brushed some basalt grey again over the beard, and then I'm going to pick out the highlights in white. The skin, same as for the Goblin King, I did peach first, then the flesh tone, skin tone, and then a thin wash of red. So yeah, he's coming on quite nicely, and that's how far I've got with him so far. So that's Gandalf. There's a hell of a lot of robe on Gandalf, which is quite nice, and the hat. So those started off with a dark grey, and then I've lightened that up with basalt grey. I've done a lot of highlighter on it, because there's an awful lot of folds, which is really nice. And the hair's been done with dark grey and then the basalt grey, and I've done a brown wash in there just to make it a bit more brown. But I've got to start picking out some highlights on there. Still a few bits of beard and hair that need touching up, and I've gone around the belt in white because I'm going to paint that a lightish brown. Got to do a little bit more on the scarf because I didn't notice various parts of it until just now. So that has been done with the Andrea blue with some Prussian blue wash, and then I'm starting to highlight up the bits of the scarf that are going to catch the light. Staff has been done in wood green as usual, and the sword I've just painted black. So I thought I'd cut quite quickly to this one, because once you've put the grey on, that's a lot of the figure done. So still a few more highlights to do on it, but this is going to be a really quick figure to paint Gandalf, I think. Just going around the areas that I can see now. So it's things like the belt, here, around the waist, round the sword, down to the sword. So I'm starting to take shape. I'm lightening up the scarf. A little bit of remedial work to be done down here. So let's get on with that. Let's this part of the belt should be blue, and the rest of it will be brown, which will provide a nice contrast between the brown parts and the blue parts. There's lots of work to be done on the scarf, and a little bit to be done touching up on the highlights of the cloak. Gown, it's more a gown really, isn't it? Okay, so the belt there, still shiny because I've just painted it, was done in raw umber, and the other parts of the belt in blue. That needs to darken up and also then get some highlights on it. Still got to do the pommel of the sword, and the name escapes me now here, but it's the bit that stops your hands getting cut. Can't remember. I should know this sort of stuff, you know. I really should know this. The hilt. It's the hilt. Finally get there. The old marbles are going, you know. Mind you, it is 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm watching the general election, so what do you expect? So yeah, little bits have overrun there on the sword scabbard, but the scabbard as well needs a few highlights on there. So I shall get on with that. Sorry for the yawning, but as I've just pointed out, it's getting on for 2 o'clock in the morning and watching the election. So I've just run a Prussian blue wash on the blue parts of the belt and the scarf. Those now need to be brightened up because I want a much paler blue, well, particularly the scarf. Done the boots, painted the base. The boots need a small highlight on the toe caps. The beard needs to be more white, and gold hilt for the sword, and some highlights on the sword as well. The pommel is going to be silver. So, very nearly there, just a few highlights to do and we'll have a completed Gandalf. So here he is complete. I've lightened the beard, I've finished doing the belt with the nice little silver bits on there. He's got the hilt and pommel of the sword and made the blue parts a bit lighter. And a few more highlights on the robe as well. So there you go, that is Gandalf the Grey.